Well, what we've seen already in the short life of the blockchain world is booms and busts. We are very early. We are very early. And when you're early into a new technology, this is not only a monetary system, but it's really a new technology, a new platform. In the early days, expect booms and busts. And what I analyze as we're going through the bust side of that roller coaster is how fragile or anti-fragile the ecosystem is.
Investors everywhere want to know what investment star Cathie Wood, chief executive of ARK Investment Management, thinks about where the markets are heading. Wood's success with her investments over time, despite a recent decline in her ARK Innovation ETF, has investors watching her every move and listening to her comments. People want to know what the next move will be. Cathie Wood sees significant innovation and technological advances ahead. Wood on Friday took time out from her busy investing schedule to chat with MSNBC's Chris Hayes on a podcast about her predictions for innovation and technology through 2030. She said society has not seen the amount change that's about to occur in history. The last time such significant changes occurred was in the early 20th century with the introduction of the telephone, electricity, and the automobile. 5 innovation platforms that are currently evolving and converging at the same time, Wood said, are artificial intelligence, robotics, energy storage, DNA sequencing, and blockchain technology. All of them are on exponential growth trajectories and are converging with each other, Wood told Hayes. In a previous interview, Cathie Wood has predicted that Bitcoin's price could exceed $1 million by 2030 as the cryptocurrency's global usage is still only in its early days. The noted investor previously said the cryptocurrency would reach $500,000 by 2026. Bitcoin's market capitalization still represents a fraction of global assets and is likely to scale as nation-states adopt it as legal tender. ARK added in its Bitcoin outlook that the cryptocurrency is taking market share as a global settlement network. According to ARK's research, Bitcoin's cumulative transfer volume increased by 463% in 2021. And its annual settlement volume has surpassed Visa's annual payments volume. Please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel as we listen to Cathie Wood.
May a year ago, we went through a crash. I mean, Bitcoin it would be considered a crash. Right. Bitcoin was cut in half and other crypto assets were cut by more than that. And I was fascinated to watch the DeFi ecosystem through all of that, because what I thought was going on was there was a lot of leverage. When you talk about speculation and mania, what happens is speculators are taking on leverage in order to capitalize on this boom.
Yep.
They don't even understand what it is. Some of the later ones getting in, they just know that their friend said, no, you got to get in. It's been going up. And then you have a crash and a shakeout. Last May, when that happened to DeFi, I thought that was a very important moment for DeFi, not maybe NFTs yet, but DeFi and for Bitcoin, because the DeFi ecosystem did not skip a beat. There were millions of people wiped out because they had taken on leverage. All they were doing was speculating. Mm-hmm. And yet the smart contract to operating system effectively didn't skip a beat. It did not break down. That was very important. You're going to see some of these blockchains flame out over time. So we are in the process of natural selection when it comes to these ecosystems. So fully expect there to be booms and busts. When you talk about a mania, you talk about the tulip mania, or what happens there is just one way up, pretty much. Now, with some bumps, but to the point where everybody in the country convinces him or herself or themselves that, they have to be a part of this movement, because if they're not, their wealth won't grow. And it's a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out. That is why I like these big corrections in crypto. And we get them regularly. We have a team at ARK that monitors on-chain statistics, and we're going to start publishing a report to help others understand, hey, here are some really speculative indicators. And
interesting. And
during a crash, here are some interesting buying opportunities. Whenever we've hit this kind of capitulation before, tiptoe in. So we want to be a part of helping people navigate through this world because it's going to be extremely volatile. It's going to be extremely productive over time as well. It's just we're in the nascent stages of an early technology. So if you look at Bitcoin, it is decentralized and it is the most robust and secure network out there. Then you go into more and more centralization over time. So Ethereum's a little more centralized, Solana even more so, Avalanche beyond that. And you keep going and you're making trade-offs, decentralization for convenience. And I think we're certainly shining a spotlight on this, what could happen longer run. But as I watched Solana kind of, it was trying to out Ethereum and the technology, or we don't know quite what has gone wrong. I don't think they said they fixed it the last time around, but they didn't. I think this single point of failure idea, when the technology is so critical to our digital lives, single point of failure, which is all around centralization, and we've seen it happen with Facebook and some of the others, is becoming more and more of a concern, especially if we're building our lives, including our careers, on top of these platforms. And so in terms of a global monetary system, we do not want that to be centralized. No single point of failure. No, thank you. No counterparty risk. In the case of NFTs, we're looking at the people who are involved in these worlds, and we will be writing and saying, okay, these are the trade-offs you're making. If you're sure you're okay, but if you are building your wealth through these digital assets, if this is part of your wealth creation, you should be concerned about single points of failure and counterparty risk. So I think education is really important here. We're certainly going to do our role. That part of our mission and values as a company is to educate not just investors, but the public, parents, grandparents, educate them about how the world's changing so they can at least give advice to their children and their grandchildren about what is the right side of change. And the other side of that is help them avoid the creative destruction that these 5 platforms are going to cause throughout the traditional world order.
Over the next 10 years, Wood said she believes the market cap associated with the 5 platforms that include 14 transformative technologies will scale at a 30% compounded annual rate of return. The 5 platforms are expected to have increased equity market returns from a total $13.7 trillion in 2020 to a projected $202.6 trillion in 2030. ARK Management's Big Ideas 2022 report identified 14 transformative technologies that it said are approaching tipping points as costs drop and unleash demand across sectors and geographies, spawning more innovation. Those 14 technologies include mobile connected devices, gene editing, digital wallets, blockchain, cloud computing, gene sequencing, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, living therapies, battery technology, reusable rockets, robotics, autonomous mobility, and 3D printing. Wood noted in the podcast that a convergence is taking place among battery technology, AI, and robotics that is bringing down the costs of electric vehicles. She said electric vehicle costs were prohibitively high until recently. What do you think of Cathie Wood assertions? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Till our next video, please stay savvy.